Hey everybody, Jewel back again, starting our Moon Through the Houses series today. So I'm going to try to get through this one fast so I can get through another series really fast, and we can get things moving on here. So through the summer you'll probably sing a lot more of me. So, Moon in the first house. So, first house is the house of self, house of, personality. I mean, this is what, the house of obviousness, as opposed to the 12th house, which is really, the house of the unconscious and the unseen. The first house is what's clearly seen and what is shown and what's projected and what's really put out there. So it's known as, the house of the personality. So, as opposed to, the 7th house is the house of others, this is the first house of the self. So it's a very personal house, and it shows up, this is the house of the ascendant, this is what people first see when they meet us. They see our first house qualities. So, the moon, this is the planet, and we call it a planet in astrology, the planet of the unconscious. Represents motherhood, nurturing, our wants, our nurturing needs, nutrition, females, home, all those, tenderness, feelings in general. And it's a very unconscious planet. It's one that is that we readily display, but we don't really stop to think about. It's just the moon is something that we do, something that we feel, and we it's very knee-jerk that we do it. So we have the planet, the moon. That really represents our unconscious needs and cravings, our feelings. It's very much how we are inside, as opposed to the sun, which is how we show up on the outside, how we want to be seen, how we a lot about our ego. The moon is very much about our inner feelings. So when we have the planet of instinct and cravings and emotional drive coming into the first house of things that are readily seen, things that are put out there, things that we want to project, things that other people very much know about us, because it's very obvious there. The emotions are very close to the surface when we have the great, my washing machine's going on spin cycle now. I'm just going to have to put up with it, people. So the feeling traits in somebody are very close to the surface, because things in the first house are very obvious. So these people tend to be known as emotional, and they know themselves as emotional. They very much wear their heart on their sleeves. The style and the traits of the sign that the moon is in are going to show up really readily. So, somebody with, Aries moon in the first house is going to, be very emotionally impulsive. Like any moon sign in the first house is going to be more emotionally impulsive, but it's going to be like crazy when we have Aries moon, like in the first house. But, any, Pisces moon in the first house, these people are going to be, very sensitive, emotionally porous, So you have to definitely look, at the sign, because it's totally gonna, just show right up there in the first house, and we have moon there in the first. So their feelings are very accessible when we have the moon here. These people are, they're a bit of an emotional roller coaster, because the moon is a very changeable entity. And it's in the first house of personality and what we're putting out there and what we're projecting and what we're readily grabbing to show that this is who we are. the first house is very much, about what we choose to show, what we identify as us. So these people very much identify with being emotional. So other people tend to know this about them as well. And very changeable. They're very moody. And they often don't realize how much their feelings show on their faces. I mean, the first house, represents the head and, what we project very much about the face. And this is the planet of feelings. I mean, they really cannot hide what they're feeling and how deeply they're feeling it. I mean, it is just written all over their face. So they, it's very hard to keep their feelings to themselves. They are, like, I was just in a seminar, and there was this this woman that had to had to raise her hand, and she's gripping her heart at the same time, because she wants to emotionally, get her message out there. She wants them to know, and I was looking at her thinking, I remember, first house moon. So they need to, make their feelings known, and they have a really hard time burying them or keeping them to themselves. They're very much out there. So they have a need to be needed as well, because the moon is the planet of cravings as well, and it's a very needy thing. So when it's in the first house, this is, the planet of the physical body. They have a need to be physically needed. And they are great in nursing. They're great in mental health. They're great in jobs that, require a certain rescuer type of energy to them. And something, that combines physicality with that emotional nature, fabulous. And we can even see first house moon in the charts of like rescue workers and people like that are first responders type. So they can also be a bit of emotional manipulators. Now, this is not something that they try to do generally, and so we got like a ton of Pluto going on here with the moon, and then so, but usually they are not consciously manipulative. It's something that, I mean, the moon is a manipulative planet, and it waxes and wanes, and their cravings come into the house of obvious conscious things. And so this is where this, this manipulative tendency comes from. They have a need to be needed, and so they will unconsciously, manipulate those around them sometimes in order to maintain those emotional ties, in order to know that they have others there who are, going to look to them, for support or for assistance. So that's something they have to watch out for. But it's usually more of an innocent type of deal. It's there's definitely other alignments and placements that are entirely more manipulative and ridiculous to deal with. But this is one where they are just, kind of fearful of, abandonment, in the sense that they aren't going to be able to nurture. So they want to make sure that they have, somebody there, or, an audience there, so they can, take care of them. It's not about, in this case, keeping people dependent so you can, have power over them or take things from them. It's more about so they can express their own need to care for others. And these people also are, as children, are people that are like bringing the sick puppy home or the lost kitten and begging to keep it. A lot of that here with the first house moon. So, hope you enjoyed this. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. And you can find me on the internet at truthinAspectastrology.com and on Facebook at Truth in Aspect Astrology. Yes, I do private consultation. Email me for more information at truthinaspectastrology@hotmail.com. I'll be back soon. Bye.